The corrupt former Minister Gordon Nuttall has used a historic address to the Queensland Parliament to deny any wrongdoing. Nuttall was allowed out of jail to answer charges he'd failed to disclose the payments that landed him in prison. He defended his actions, attacked the CMC and prosecutors and, in the end, apologised to the House. But there was little sympathy. Both the government and the opposition supported a motion to fine him $82,000.
Nuttall arrived in the confines of a prison van. The first convicted criminal to front the Queensland Parliament.
Sergeant-at-Arms, please bring Mr Nuttall to the bar of the House.
Free from handcuffs and prison garb, Nuttall mounted a 40-minute defence.
I have never knowingly or wrongfully set out to do wrong.
He was jailed in 2009 for receiving secret commissions and corrupt payments. A verdict and a 12-year sentence he says he still can't comprehend.
I struggle each and every day to understand how I can be found guilty of a secret commission.
But the Parliament sought to punish him further with an $82,000 fine for failing to declare the payments on the interests register. Nuttall argued the rules are unclear.
The fault lies in the guidelines.
He repeatedly lashed out at the Crime and Misconduct Commission, as well as prosecutors involved in his trial, calling for a judicial inquiry.
The CMC and the DPP have had their own agenda and embarked on a campaign to ensure that I was demonised, abandoned, ridiculed, cheated and made a fool of.
He persisted with his attack until the Speaker reined him in.
I would ask you to abide by my ruling. I know this is emotional for you.
Nuttall then set his sights on his former colleagues.
You chose to cast me adrift and join in the feeding frenzy when there was blood in the water.
Finally, Nuttall apologised and pleaded for the House to accept that as his penalty.
Mr Speaker, I simply do not have the financial capacity to pay a fine.
One independent sympathised.
It's now time to show some mercy.
But the government and the opposition were not swayed.
I am embarrassed that he was once a member of our team.
When it comes to a bucket of cash, the register has little or no ambiguity.
All Queenslanders have a right to feel betrayed today, betrayed by Gordon Nuttall.
His family, though, remains loyal.
It has been a very challenging time for our family, but we love Dad and we are so proud of him today.
I am bowed, but I am not beaten. I am bloodied, but I am not broken.
And tonight, he's back behind bars.
And state political reporter Jessica Van Vonderen joins us now from Parliament. Jess, there was a lot of speculation in the lead-up to today's appearance. Well, in the end, was the hype justified?
David, there had been a lot of interest and curiosity in just what Gordon Nuttall might say and who he might target. There was speculation this might be some sort of revenge-seeking exercise. Look, in the end, that didn't really happen, although Nuttall did have strong criticisms of the CMC and the DPP. But in the main, he stuck to this question of why he failed to disclose the payments on the pecuniary interests register. David, Parliament ran very smoothly today despite these extraordinary circumstances. MPs sat quietly and listened to Nuttall's speech. Nuttall himself was composed in the main throughout his address to the Parliament. But in the end, as we saw, he failed to convince the vast majority of MPs of his arguments and they chose to fine him.
And how have the CMC and prosecutors responded to Nuttall's complaints against them?
Well, the CMC says Nuttall can try to pursue his complaints through the Parliamentary Crime and Misconduct Committee. The DPP says its prosecution was run in full accordance with the law and that if Nuttall had any complaints to make, he could have done so in any of his trials, but didn't. The Premier also defended both of those organisations today.
So is this the end of the Nuttall saga?
It's not. Nuttall has 12 months, he's been given 12 months to pay the fine, although he's told Parliament, as we've already heard, that he doesn't have the money. Secondly, there are also court matters still pending. The Attorney General is appealing against Nuttall's sentence, calling for a longer 14-year jail term. The Court of Appeal reserved its decision in that matter this week, so that's still to come, David.
OK, thanks, Jess. Jessica Van Vonderen there at Parliament House.